cut this. What's going on, Khalil? What's going on, Texas 2A? What's happening? Hope everybody having a good one so far. Sunday. I told you I was gonna be back at it. Chubby Slim was good. Yo. So we gonna bust this down for about an hour. Make sure y'all hitting that like button as y'all step into the chat. I see we got 1 like, 5 viewers. We could at least get those 4 more likes. And we just gonna get into it. So the topic of the day is 3 fish. That's what I'm talking about. So we got 10 people in. We got 2 likes. Can we get those likes up to 10? That's what I'm talking about. Can we get those likes up to 10? So if y'all checked out the description or the title, I want to know what's 3 fish, and I hate to do this. I hope y'all not keeping them. What's 3 fish that y'all think should be banned from the hobby? What is 3 fish that you always hear negative things about? That's just ridiculous that people on. Let me know. Just 3. Probably a bunch of them, but just 3. Yeah, y'all hit that like button. We got 10 people in the room. We got 6 likes. I know we could get 4 more likes. Don't just sit there spectating. If y'all sitting here watching, hit that like button. And while y'all at it, go ahead and answer that question. 3 fish that y'all think should be banned from the hobby. Come on, y'all. We had 7 likes. I know we could get 3 more likes. 10 people watching. Fish Lair Shorts, what's up, man? How you doing? All right, 10 people watching, 8 likes, 2 more likes. And I'm waiting for somebody to answer the question. Do y'all want me to just go ahead and go first? I don't want to just throw my opinion out there. I don't want to sway anybody. I want to get that feedback. I want to hear what y'all think. Or do y'all think the hobby is totally fine? Y'all don't need to have any, don't any fish need to be banned? Oh, go ahead. You want me to go first, Khalil? All right. So, I think the red tail catfish, that's 1. The arapaima, 2, and then the bumblebee grouper, 3. So the reason why I say those 3, we need to get those likes up, man. We need 3 more people to hit that like button. Y'all sitting back watching, but y'all not hitting that like button, man. Hit that like button. Y'all watching. Why not hit the like button? Make sure y'all hitting that like button when y'all come in. 15 people in the room, 8 likes. Hit the like button. It don't cost a single thing to hit that like button. All right, Gage, what's your opinion on the red tail catfish? We here with it. We on the same page. That was one of the ones that's on that list of mine. Yeah, Khalil. Yeah, the red tail is a must for real, 100%. I really like the way those fish look. They're beautiful fish, monster fish, tank busters, all that good stuff. But they just get too big. I mean, they get 4 foot and bigger. And a lot of people, they buy them because they look real nice. They buy them, 2 or 3 inches, and then they end up having to rehome them. They die. Some people release them. And I feel like when you buy these fish and people release them, I'm not going to say I know y'all don't do it, but when you buy these fish and y'all and they get released, that makes it hard on the fish hobbyists that are doing it the right way. And that's why when these laws come about and things get restricted, that's the reason why we all get kind of fucked up in that. You know what I mean? Because they're looking at like, oh, people release them. I would never release a fish. You just take it to your local fish store. You know what I'm saying? You can hit up Ohio Fish Rescue. There's people that's in play that will take the fish. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to release it. So if you ever have a situation like that, you bought a fish, you didn't know what you was getting yourself into, to make sure that you get rid of it the right way. D. Miller. They are deciding if they like it or not first. Man, D Miller, if you stepping into the room, just like so what? Just hit the fucking like button. What does it hurt you to hit the like button? You know? You ain't gotta sit there and decide on whether or not you like it first. If that was the case, you shouldn't even have came into the chat. It's that simple. That don't even make no sense. You know? All right. Chubby Slim. I'm going underground, but I'll pop back when I come back above. Direct not banned, just so the just size bigger so that people know how big they would. Yeah, it kind of didn't really make sense, but not banned. Are you talking about they shouldn't ban the red tail cats? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? But yeah, yeah, right on, D Miller. Okay, I didn't know. Definitely funny. I take the joke. But yeah, so as far as being banned, yeah, man. How many people do you know that's keeping these fish the right way, man? I say ban. I say ban because there's too many people that's buying these fish, and they're death sentences. You know what I'm saying? It's just making it harder on everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of fish that's banned that you could literally get your restricted license to keep. So if that's the case, just go ahead and apply for the restricted fish license, and then you keep them that way. But as far as them just being available to the public, anybody just walk to the fish store and just go and buy them, like, nah, I don't think that. I don't think that should be. I don't think that should be allowed. You know what I'm saying? The arapaima. The arapaima gets 10 feet. You know what I'm saying? Who do you know could keep arapaima properly? You know what I mean? The bumblebee grouper, also a fish that gets 10 feet. How many people do you know that's keeping a bumblebee grouper the right way? So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of the fish, the 3 fish that I have on my list, I'm waiting for somebody else to drop that list. The fish that I have on my list, I'm speaking not only from experience, but I'm speaking from a fish hobbyist that watch other fish hobbyists that do keep it on a mild level. You know what I'm saying? Ohio Fish Rescue is one of the cats that really do it, probably better than most. They got a 56,000 gallon pond. They got red tail catfish in there, paimas, all that up in there. They don't have a bumblebee grouper. I've seen a full grown bumblebee. I've seen a full grown bumblebee grouper on another YouTube channel, and they had this thing into like a saltwater lagoon. You know what I'm saying? Hella big, bigger than the Goliath grouper. So that's what I'm saying. That's the proper way of doing it. But most fish hobbyists, they don't have a lagoon. They don't have a saltwater lagoon to properly keep a bumblebee grouper. They don't have a 70,000. They don't have a lake to keep an arapaima. You know what I mean? And I think damn near the red tail catfish need to be in the lake too. That 56,000 gallon pond that they got is looking kind of small with their arapaimas and all the red tail catfish in there. So, and they doing it the best. They doing it better than everybody else. Texas too. I think you should show how big the fish can get before you buy it from the store. I think people need to do their own research. I think you need to research before you buy the fish. That way, you know what you're getting yourself into. YouTube is an excellent source of information. You can type it in, channel pop up, then you see how to keep it. You see how big it get. It's definitely a good way of finding out how big the fish get that you actually want to keep. Also, Google. Google is an excellent way of finding out how big a fish get, even if you don't see it. In reality, that's why you go ahead and look at YouTube. But yeah, it's important to do your homework. It's important to know what the hell you buy before you buy it. I think people should be able to keep them and buy them if they can house them. How many people actually be able to house these fish? That's what I'm saying. You commenting, but you ain't dropping a list. You don't have shit on your list. You don't think any fish should be banned? You probably part of the problem. A lot of these fish definitely are a problem. There's other fish on the list that I didn't even say, like the goonch. I'm not gonna throw that on the list. Some people keep them right, obviously not full grown. The pacu, I didn't say that. There's a ton of fish that most average fish keepers cannot actually properly keep. So I'm talking about fish that get 10 foot or bigger. You know what I'm saying? If you got a fish that gets 10 foot or bigger, or even a fish that gets 5 foot, to properly keep that fish, you need tens of thousands of gallons of water. If you could properly keep that, yeah, get the restrict license. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that people should I think the Asian arowana we as fish hobbyists should be able to have access to them, but we can't. We can't have access to a snakehead. That's also a problem. But if I wanted to apply for a restricted fish license and jump through all the hoops and things like that, then I could buy it. You know what I'm saying? I could keep it. But it just being in a pet store right next to the convicts, being right next to the neon tetras, being right next to the goldfish, that's the problem. That's the problem. Because you're gonna select that goldfish, you're gonna select the convict, and let me get one of those red tail catfish too. You know what I'm saying? When I seen the arapaima a few years ago, at least I had enough sense not to buy it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit up there and buy a fish and I know that that fish is going to be a problem long term. I'm never going to be able to house a 10-foot fish ever. I'm gonna have to rehome it, and then I don't even like sitting there taking care of a fish that I can't actually keep long term. So that's just me. Some people want to keep a fish for a few years, rehome it, put it off on somebody else, make it their problem. I don't believe that that's the correct way of doing fish, keeping fish. I don't think that's a proper way of fish keeping. If you believe it is, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? So I want to hear some people tell me if there's any fish on a list, 3 top fish that you feel like should be banned. If you don't think that there's any fish that should be banned, I damn near don't even know why you stepped into this chat, because that's what this conversation is about. It's about talking about what 3 fish should be banned. So I hope you got a comment on that. Large fish, Khalil, right on, bro. Right on, bro. Large fish over 3 foot. Arowanas get over 3 foot, can't get over 3 foot, but you could properly keep an arowana like 1,000 gallon. Definitely could keep them in like 1,000 gallon. Khalil, I appreciate that, bro. Yep, exactly. I agree. Should either be banned or you got to get a license. Definitely shouldn't be able to just go to the fish store and just buy them all. Not a lot of people can house large sharks. There's actually some sharks that don't get that big, and I do know a couple people, off YouTube that actually keep the sharks a proper way. But yeah, you're right. For the most part, a lot of the sharks is definitely problematic. I just bought a horn shark though, so I can't really say too much about the sharks. If you see the viral video by Mr. Fish called Light Lunch today, haha, it would break your heart. They have tons of large fish in a small tank. Black Koi Records, man, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. There's a viral man. I don't even know who he is, but it's a viral dude on TikTok, and he has 2 big ass arapaimas. I mean, they hella big, and I swear they in like, man, it looks like a 10 by 5 foot tank, right? They can't even move around. They just sit there in one spot. And this guy's feeding them chickens. He's feeding them all type of stuff, man. And the videos are going super viral. You know what I mean? And you get a mixture of good comments and comments that's like, yeah, it looks so cool and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's not cool, man. That's not cool. I always say it's a difference between a fish thriving and surviving. You get what I'm saying? I don't ever want to have my fish just survive. You know what I'm saying? Like, as fish keepers, I love my fish. I love fish in general. I've always had. So I try to make sure that the fish that I keep are thriving. You know what I'm saying? You give them not only the minimum requirement tank, but you exceed that as far as you can. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not going to do it that way, why even buy it? Leave it in the store. And like somebody else said, if you could properly take care of it, you should have access to it, right? Well, then if you could properly take care of it, you should know what you're buying. Don't buy something that you know that you're not going to be able to keep for the 10, 15, 20 years that it actually lives. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way of doing it. But that's what this conversation is supposed to be about. I want to raise awareness to, anybody that stepped through the chat. I want to raise that good awareness. Fish Kid, the Emperor Snapper, I agree with you. 4-foot fish, man, they get big. I definitely agree with that. The Bumblebee Grouper, we on the same page with that one. That's the one I mentioned. Trav, what's up with you, bro? How you doing? Joshua Gordon, okay, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Arapaima, I named that one. Paku, I agree with you on that. Freshwater stingrays, that wasn't on my list, but you make some sense with that one. They definitely get hella big. And yeah, they should definitely be kept with the license. Stingrays are extremely hard to keep due to water conditions, maintenance, and the average hobbyist cannot keep up with. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for that comment. That's what I'm talking about. We on point with that. We agree. We agree 100%. And it's not throwing shade at nobody. If anybody got any Paku, that's cool. If you got an Arapaima, that's cool. If you got a Bumblebee grouper, that's cool. I just really hope that you understand that if you properly keep these fish, they could get 10 feet. If you keep a fucking Paku, it could get 3 to 4 feet. If you keep a red tail cat, it could get up to 5 feet. So just make sure that you're keeping it right and you don't push shit off on somebody else. So that's all I'm saying. Raising awareness, not throwing shade. Fish business, aquatics was cracking, man. What's happening with you, bro? We talking Arapaimas and platinum guards. Yeah. We can't even have guardfish in California. We can't even have guardfish. So, and I don't really think there's anything wrong with some of these guards. Some of these guards only get like 3 foot. If you got a big ass aquarium or you got a pond, you could probably keep a guard. But when people keep these alligator guard, the alligator guard get a lot bigger than regular guard. So yeah, that's a problem. Christian, bigger species of guard, 100%. Fish kid, emperor snapper get like 3 to 4. Yep, they do get 3 to 4 feet. I've seen a YouTuber had a big ass emperor snapper. It was like a big fucking wall high tank, and the emperor snapper was hella big. I mean, they look small compared to the emperor snapper. So yeah, that's why I said I didn't want to get another one of those. And they do like a lot of swim space. Same with the Bumblebee grouper, hella big, right? Yep, black tips, 100%. Fishy business aquatics, common plecos. Yeah, man. They not well. Yeah. I'm not. This is your list. I don't really agree with the common plecos. They do get big, but it takes a long time. I had a pleco that was 6 years old, and it only got like to maybe like 11 inches. You know what I'm saying? Like they can get big long term, but yeah, they some ugly motherfuckers too. They hella ugly. Fishy biz aquatic, saltwater batfish. I'm not familiar with how big the saltwater batfish get. I have to look that up. Travie Trav, thanks for sharing. I just seen. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you all for stopping through. Thank you all for contributing to the chat. We got 24 people in the room. I hope we could get 24 likes. And where else? We got Black Koi Records in Japan. You can have a blue ring octopus. I never understood why they would want one, but it's out there. Yeah, man. There's a couple YouTubers. I think Predatory Fins got one. They got a blue ring. Matter of fact, they do. I don't know if it died, but I know they had a blue ring. Yeah, and they in New York. So yeah, I wouldn't buy one. It's one of the most deadly animals, on the planet. You know what I mean? So I would not own one myself, but people like to play with fire. People like to play with fire. To each their own. Some people like to skydive. I never understood that. I'm not jumping out of a perfectly good working airplane. So to each their own. To each their own. White sturgeon. That's a good one. Sturgeon fish, man. I bought. I made a real mistake when we first moved into this house. I bought me a couple sturgeon fish. I thought they had different variations of the sturgeon. I thought they had the smaller ones and then the big ones. I had no idea that the ones that I bought are these ones that get mammoth size. So, I mean, they didn't make it. Everything happens for a reason. I'm not mad about the fact that they didn't make it, but I would never buy a sturgeon again now that I know how big these sturgeon actually get. I mean, I went to Monterey Bay Aquarium and I seen these sturgeon. They had to be like 8 foot. I didn't know that that's what I foolishly purchased. But again, that's why I'm making this, that's why I'm trying to have a conversation with you all, because a lot of times, you see something that looks really cool in the pet store and you have no idea when you get it home, it's going to become a tank buster. It's going to become something that's going to eat everything in your aquarium. It's going to become something that you're going to have to find a way to rehome it. Ohio Fish Rescue, they get and take in a lot of big fish that other people could no longer keep, right? Giving the fish a bigger home. I got a lot of respect for those dudes, right? But even at a certain point, they have to figure out where to get rid of theirs. You know what I mean? So they work with like local aquariums, public aquariums, and then they donate some of these fish to them. You know what I'm saying? So if you got to have your fish go to a local aquarium, what are you going to do if you have a fish that's like 4 foot and you're like, oh shit, where's it going to go now? You know what I mean? So it's just important to think about that. Even if you in a pet store and you looking at that fish, oh, what is it? Oh, such and such. Let me look that up right now. I'm gonna look that up right now, see what this is, see what size it get, and then determine if that's something that you want to commit to. There's nothing wrong with committing to something like that, but it's definitely wrong with committing to something that you didn't fully think about, and then all of a sudden you either happen to release it, it's dying. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, where we at? Where we at? So are we gonna split hairs because they take a while to get stupid big, or um, you know, yeah, man. I think it just makes the most sense to make sure that if you decide to buy something, you're hoping and you're planning for it to get to full size, and you're doing the right thing to keep it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't buy something and say, "Hey, damn, it might not get that big. So what am I gonna do to it? What am I gonna do with it then?" You know what I mean? Like the horn shark that I bought, it could potentially get 4 foot in the wild, but for in captivity, 39 inches, that's damn near the size of what my arowana is going to get. So if I want to keep it long term, I got to make sure I create the right living conditions for it. And the fact that I want to keep this shark, that's what I'm going to have to do. So, like I said, there's nothing wrong with committing to something like that, but at least know what you're committing to. Joshua George, I agree. Cleveland, no shade being thrown. I have a Pacu and raised that I've raised for 5 years now. It's a lot of dedication and maintenance, and I would still like to give them a bigger home. I commend you, Joshua. Not only I appreciate you dropping that knowledge in the comment, I appreciate you providing us with that information. And yeah, Pacus, man, I had no idea how big Pacus got. I had a Pacu 20 years ago. I had a Pacu 20 years ago. I bought it big at my fish store. I had a 55-gallon aquarium. I threw them in that. You know, things happen in life. I was no longer around for and whatever happened to the fish. I don't even know what the fuck happened to it, honestly. Yeah. But that being said, I found out how big they got by watching Ohio Fish Rescue. I don't know if y'all are privy to them, but they do keep all of these big ass fish that we're talking about, and they keep them on the best level compared to everybody else. They keep them on the best level. They have, I think like a 5,000-gallon plywood build with maybe like 6 to 8 pacu. At least last time I was watching them, they had like 6 to 8 pacu in there, and hella big. I mean, they were like like this thick, like 6 to 8 inches thick, tall, big. I didn't know they got that big, and they definitely like to chew on stuff. But you should definitely be allowed to keep what you want to keep. But some of these fish is just people buy them and it's like a death sentence. You know what I'm saying? Like I have yet to see anybody keep their prime the right way, at all. Nobody, matter of fact. And then the lagoon, they had the bumblebee grouper in there. And again, this is a fucking lagoon, man. It looked like a lake. You know what I'm saying? But it was saltwater. It looked like a fucking lake. You know what I mean? And they kept it right, but this thing was hella deep. I mean, when they brought the fish up, it took hella long for it to get to the top. So yeah, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's levels to this hobby, but making sure you do the best by the fish that you choose to keep, that's of the utmost importance. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Damn. Okay, we ain't that far. I'm not getting that many questions. That's cool. I can keep up. All right, Kenneth Perdomo. Peroon shark, they eat anything and everything. I agree. I agree. Peroon sharks, nurse sharks, you know, who do you see keeping them the correct way in captivity? I'm not about taking fish away from people, but let people obtain the license for certain fish to ensure proper care or higher survival rates. I agree with you, Joshua. That's what I don't believe in people having to lose their fish either. I don't believe in somebody coming in and just taking their shit. I'm not a fan of that. I don't agree with that at all. But this is just about educating yourself before you actually purchase that fish or you become somebody that, a terrible fish keeper. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely don't think anybody should have their animals that they paid for taken from them. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. I said plecos because they get sold by big box stores to amateur keepers and they sell them A 20-gallon, yeah, fish business, aquatics. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know, they also do that with goldfish, man. It's crazy, right? They even do that shit with goldfish, even though goldfish get hella big and they dirty. But yeah, I know why you were saying it. I know why you were saying it. Miami Native, what's happening? What's good with you? Yeah, I've been telling them to hit that like button. We got one spectator. We can hopefully that one spectator can hit that like button. But where we at? Ryan, Arapaima, and iridescent sharks. I forgot about the iridescent sharks. I forgot about those. And red-tailed cats should be like owning a gun or a car. Hey, bro, we on the same page, 100%. You talking my language. I mentioned the cat. I mentioned the Arapaima. I mentioned the red-tailed cats, and yeah, you know, the bumblebee grouper is on the same level as that Arapaima. But yeah, and yeah, Arapaimas, they need more than 1,000 gallons. I know you know that. I know you know that. Red-tailed cats, they need more than 1,000 gallons. They need more than 1,000 gallons. Do y'all remember? So I know we were talking last night. Y'all know who predatory fins is. No shade to them. They doing their thing. But y'all remember that 15,000 gallon pond they had, or a little that little fiberglass little pond they had with the viewing panel inside of, and when they were in Florida? That thing was 15,000 gallons, right? They had the 2 Arapaima in there. Look small, right? Look small. You know what I'm saying? They had the red-tailed cats in there. Kind of look small, right? You know, I've seen people have these red-tailed cats in, you know, a few thousand gallons, and it's just not big enough. It's just not big enough. If you don't know how big red-tailed catfish get, check out Ohio Fish Rescue. Check them out. They have a 56,000 gallon pond or a swimming pond inside of their room. And they have Arapaima, they have red-tailed cats, they have tiger shovel nose in there, and they big, 4 foot plus, almost 5 foot. They got some big ones in there, and that's the best I've seen somebody keep them, right? But that pond don't look like it's 56,000 gallons because of the big Arapaima and so many fish in there. I don't know that many people that could do it on that level, but going from a 56,000 gallon pond, I couldn't even imagine doing 100,000 gallon pond, right? And that's probably the proper level of keeping some of these fish. So Black Koi Record said, one thing I personally always wanted to own the minute I seen it was a horseshoe crab. Me too, bro. Me too. I do like the way they look, but when I did my research, I found out I couldn't keep them. And you were on point. You had common sense not to get one because I didn't know anything about it. Yeah, they get big, man. Green moray eels. Fish Kid will eat everything that it can fit in his mouth. Fish Kid, I do want a green moray eel. Hella bad, man. I want that green moray eel. I voiced that time and time again. You know, it's just something about the way they look, man. When I see them inside of these videos or they snap a picture of it and it's like sitting next to the person, and you know, and yeah, they get about 8 feet. They get about 8 feet. But I do have a yellow edge eel that also gets 8 feet. So I plan for that. I plan for that. I've never seen a full-grown yellow edge eel. They said it gets 8. They said they get 8 feet, but I have seen plenty of those green moray eels at 8 feet. So yeah, beautiful eel. I don't know if I'll ever own one, but yeah. All right, real ones, hit the like button. Yeah, I've been trying to tell them hit that like button. Right now, we got 28 viewers. We got 31 likes. So it seems like everybody that's been in the chat hit the like. If you haven't hit that like button one time. Hit that like button one time for me. Fish Kid, last year, one of the stores I go to had like 10 great barracudas. I can't imagine they all went to good homes. They were only 5 inches. So chances are most of them went to 6-foot tanks or more. I agree with you. I agree with you. So that's the purpose of this topic. That's the purpose of this topic. You know what I'm saying? Is just make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, and raising some awareness on some of these fish that just, you know, grow into insane sizes, and most people might not know that. Travy Trav, I gotta know, is your bill a lot? Yes, sir. It's been like, in the winter it's worse. In the winter it's worse because I got to run heaters on all these damn tanks. So for the last few months, it's been anywhere between, five to 600. 5 to 600. It's not just the aquariums; it's the dehumidifiers. I got a dehumidifier that's running, in this fish room and in the other fish room. When it's raining outside, I got to keep the door down, so that's why I got to run it 24/7 sometimes. So yeah, yeah, it gets a little pricey. It gets a little pricey. All right, where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Jeremy Way, River Monsters also shows how big red tails get. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Jeremy Way, I've watched River Monsters, that's how I found out how big the goonch catfish get. The what's the other one? It's a starts with an A. Starts with an A. Anyway, no, it starts with a P. Pyriba, whatever, Pyriba, whatever, how you pronounce it. That one also get hella big. They get hella big. But yeah, yeah, I started off watching River Monsters. That's where the monster fish came from. People wanted the monster fish. Matter of fact, I just bought me a fish that he caught too. I bought a tiger fish. But again, I got plans for that. I know where I'm going to put it at. So yeah, I just got the tiger fish. Got the tiger fish. Got the horn shark. Yeah, clear. I say that if you can't have a tank over 150 gallons, monster fish should be off your radar. I agree with you. I agree with you. Bala sharks for sure. Yeah, yeah. Bala sharks do get hella big. Yeah, yeah. The Dobai could be on somebody's list. You know what I'm saying? The Dobai could be on somebody's list. They get about 26 inches. That's pretty big if you only got a 300 gallon or 200 gallons, something like that. When you gonna do the 300 gallon for Miami? Man, it's not even really doing anything for Miami. It's really just buying a $300 300 gallon stock tank. They have it like the Tractor Supply, and you know it's no rush. She's good right now. She still got room in that 125, so it's not like I have to do that shit right now. But I'll show you what that is if you're concerned and you're curious about that stock tank. So all it is this right here. Where are we at? Camera right there. You see that 300 gallon stock tank? That's all it is. That's all she's getting. So in due time, the measurements on it is the reason why I'm gonna go ahead and get her that. It's like 69 inches by 63 inches. So that's pretty long. Her whole enclosure is only 8 foot. Black Koi Records is always about what the public or media accepts. Example, in my 30s, and I remember gators and iguanas used to be at pet stores and they were cheap. Once they became invasive, they were banned. Right, right, 100%, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. I wish I was somewhere where I could keep an alligator. If I was in Florida, if I was in Florida, man, I'd have me an alligator, little Cayman. I really would. I really would. Black Koi Records. Long story short, naming cute fish sharks are cool to kids. I agree. Yeah, that's how they get them. That's how they get them. You know what I'm saying? Like the little iridescent sharks, you have no idea that they get. You know, I can't even show you. They get big. Don't even know that. Mike, what's happening with you, bro? Yeah, man, we gotta link up for the live stream. So I got lucky, man. I didn't have to work today, so just getting in here, trying to get it in real quick with the chat, bust out a quick little hour. But yeah, man, we gotta make something happen. So I'm also gonna get on live and do it, have a talk with Mike Loves Life Aquatics. If y'all not following, bruh, check him out. Got a good ass channel, care about his fish, got a dope ass whole fucking gallery that he's building right now. I mean, I came in, he could probably tell you better than I could what he got going on. But if you haven't checked this shit out, check his shit out. What else we got? Texas 2A. A lot of people don't know how big goldfish. You know, do y'all remember back in the day when you go to the carnival, you throw the little balls inside the little containers, man, they slide you a goldfish? I remember they gave me goldfish as prizes at my school when I was in elementary school. So I'm walking home, got the cups. Some people had the goldfish in the bag. They don't even know if you got a tank at home. Didn't even know if you had a tank at home. Just take your goldfish, right? You know, the first tank that somebody would buy them is like a 10 gallon. You know, 10 gallon cheap little goldfish is going to be cute. Man, goldfish get 8 inches. 8 inches, almost the size of some of these cool. Well, not really the size of koi, but 8 inches. Some get bigger than that. It's a trip how quick they would just give you a goldfish, and because it's cheap, you know what I'm saying, you end up with this problem, you know. But more goldfish end up in the toilet than shit sometimes. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Mark Jackson. So my biggest tank is a 300 gallon. I love buying the big fish, but just to see how big I can grow them. Once I feel like it's too big, I trade them back to the same pet store I bought them from. Okay, well, if that's your method, Mark, if that's your method, you know, to each their own. You know what I mean? Like, long as you already got that rapport with the pet store, but at least you know what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? At least you have the plan in motion. You know what I'm saying? Once it get too big, you're gonna get rid of them. Next time you grow out one of those fish, man, let me know. I might want to grab that from you. Let me know. What should be growing out anyway? Colin Nicholas, glad I can make the stream. I appreciate you, Colin. I'm glad that you was able to make it as well. Used to have tanks when I was little with the fam, but I'm 21 now, and you inspired me to jump back into the hobby when I get a place and try out saltwater. That's what I'm talking about, Colin. That's what it's about, man. I appreciate you for telling me that. Yeah, saltwater will be a good one to jump into. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people get bored of the fresh, but that's why I think that a person should have both. Have both. You know what I'm saying? Have you a saltwater tank with some nice saltwater fish. Have you a freshwater tank with some nice freshwater fish, and just enjoy it. Planet tank for the fresh, coral tank for the salt. Best of both worlds. You can't lose. Can't lose. All right, Black Koi. I'd love to hear a funny story. Okay, funny story. My neighbors before they moved said, "Can I put these goldfish in your pond?" My kills won it at the fair 2 years ago. Those fish are now almost a foot long. Yeah. That's my point. I threw some goldfish in the pond with my koi. Man, they damn near as big as the koi now. They damn near as big as the koi. I mean, the koi are still small, but I mean, they were. I had those goldfish for about like 5 months. They were feeders. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 months they were feeders, and they never got ate. Miami didn't eat them. I threw them in a pond. They've been in there, shit, man. Like now, all about 7 months. Whenever I finished the pond, they've been in there the whole time. I threw them in almost immediately. I didn't want Miami to eat them, so I threw them in the pond. And yeah, they're almost as big as a koi now. I wish I would have thrown some nice looking ones in there. All I got is the orange ones in there. But yeah, a lot of people, they actually keep goldfish in the koi pond. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Aquafunk, what's going on with you, bro? How you doing? Yeah, something in the chat was popping. Trying to get the chat popping, man. We got some real good contributors in the chat. You know, we talking about the 3 top fish that should be banned. And I'm not trying to throw shade against nobody. So if you're keeping these fish that we talking about, it's all good. There's nothing wrong with the fish that you're keeping. I just hope that you got a contingency plan in motion for these fish when they start reaching these monster sizes. You know what I'm saying? We like keeping monster fish. I would love to keep the goonch. I would love to keep the goonch catfish. Matter of fact, I want the Niger catfish. I really would love to have the Niger catfish. I seen one firsthand that was probably about 4 foot. Yeah, 4 foot. I can't keep that one. But the damn head on it was like the size of my son's head. I mean, I couldn't believe it. The fucking eyeball was about that big. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful fish. Didn't know they got that. Well, I didn't know they got that big, but I never seen one in person that big. It was inside of an 1,800 gallon, appropriately stocked for the 1,800 gallon. But yeah, I don't think that I will be able to keep one of those. You know, I don't think that I'll be able to throw one into, you know, the pond with my arowana. I might, but if I buy that, probably just gonna leave that. I'm gonna treat that like the arapaima. I'm just gonna leave that at the pet store. I'm not fooling with that. I got one tiger shovel nose, and it's a true tiger shovel nose, not the hybrid. The tiger shovel nose I got don't get as big as the tiger shovel nose hybrids that's mixed with the red tail cat. Don't get that big. So 3 foot, I could tolerate that. I have plans. Gonna turn that into something 3,000 gallons or bigger. So I got plans for that. But yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy. Definitely not going crazy. What else we got? What else we got? Car, what's happening with you, man? What's going on with you, bro? All right. Kind of for sure. I do have a 40-gallon breeder. I don't know if I should start with that or go to a 20-gallon. I think it's dependent upon the fish you want to keep, bro. I think it's dependent upon the fish you want to keep. A 40-gallon give you obviously more options than a 20-gallon, but man, fuck it. Go with the 40. Go with the 40. Do the 40. You'll be cool with the 40. Turn a 20-gallon to a little planet tank. Go with the 40-gallon. You could throw some clownfish in there. You could throw a angelfish in there. You could throw, you could throw some stuff in there. Royal Grandma, you know what I'm saying? You could throw like neon dotty backs in there. Well, maybe not a firefish. The neon dotty back might bully that one. Get you a little dwarf fuzzy lionfish. You got some options with that 40-gallon, way more than you would have with that 20-gallon. And since you've already had the freshwater 20, go with that saltwater 40, do a freshwater 20, and you'll be good. Gage, I'm sorry for a second. It's all good, Gage. What's happening? Can you give me some of your opinions on Oscars? Gage, I think Oscars are dope. I got 4 total. I got 1 big one. I got 3 small ones. I think that if you want to have some nice Oscars, I think you should kind of like source out the nice ones. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not go to your local fish store and grab the first 3 you see. You know what I'm saying? They got lemon Oscars. They got the super red Oscars. They got the regular albinos. They got the leucistic Oscars. It's just so many different variants of the Oscar. I think you should definitely find the ones that you really want. Find the ones that you really want, and then go with the Oscars. They're like water dogs. Good fish. They get big though. I know you know that. They get big though, but yeah, good fish to keep. Where we at? Okay. Triggers because how mean. Texas A said triggers because how mean they could be. Mean don't necessarily mean they should be banned. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not really, I'm not really talking about the fish that's mean. It's hella fish that's mean. I had angelfish that beat each other to death, and most people think angelfish are peaceful. You know what I'm saying? You could get a damsel that's a saltwater fish, and they're mean as shit. You get what I'm saying? So it's not really about being mean. It's about, size. The ones that end up being a problem before they be, something of privilege. You get what I'm saying? So mean is one thing, but definitely making sure that you don't buy something that's going to get way too big for the type of aquarium you have. I seen somebody buy a black tip reef shark. With the first pet store I went to when I seen that Dovi 12 years ago, they had a black tip reef shark in a 1,000 gallon. It was a square tank, right? Sounds crazy, right? If you know sharks, these kind of sharks, they need a racetrack type tank, not a square, not a rectangle. They need something that they're not going to hit a corner. They need to be, cylindrical. You know what I mean? Whether it's a fucking racetrack, like an oval, or a fucking circle, but big. You get what I'm saying? Big. So they had this in a square tank, and I realized the longer I got in hobby, I'm like, damn, even these pet stores doing it wrong. So the black tip reef shark gets 5 foot. They never stop swimming. Kind of like, the real sharks. So yeah, definitely don't think that that's just the right way of keeping them. Where we at? For sure, I have 4. Mark Jackson. For sure, I have 4 pirate barracuda, 2 albino giant gouramis, albino arowana, peacock bass, hybrid catfish, 1 armored cat. I don't see anything wrong with anything you name, bro. I don't see anything wrong with what you name, Mark. What size? I just, not because I'm talking shit or not because I want to put you on blast, but what size tank do you have for those fish? You have a very nice selection, man. You have a very nice selection. Hell yeah, bigger is always better. Thanks, guys. Got some compressor seps in mine. Spelled it wrong. I can't even say it right, bro. Fishy business. I can't even say it right. I have 3 right now. I got an albino and 2 Hagera, Car, Aquafunk, Fish RS. What's up, bro? My red devil is so aggressive. What can he be kept with? Fish RS, what's going on with you, bro? Hope all is well. As far as your red devil, you can slide in there some Buddy Fry. You could put the Dovi in there with him. You could put a Feste in there with him. All of them, really. All of them, really. If you got a super aggressive red devil, you don't want to just put one fish in there. If you put just one fish in there, he's probably going to bully on it. But if you put like 3 fish of equal size, somewhat equal aggression, you had the best chance possible. I remember this cat, he gave me his red devil. He had it for 11 years. It's the biggest, it was like 11 inches. Had it for 11 years, had it in a 55 gallon. He said it can't be kept with no fish. It kills everything he put in the tank. Shit, you putting small fish in there, of course it's going to kill those fish. On top of the fact you got that fish inside of a 55 gallon, so it's going to be extra aggressive. So it was killing everything he put in there. I take the fish, I throw them in a tank with all of my fish, my Dovi, my Buddy Fry, my red devils, my everything. He kept just tank mates. He had tank mates for the next couple of years before he passed on. So he lived like 14 years, but the fish that he said could never keep, stay with any tank mates, he stayed with tank mates for the last 2 years of his life, all because, it was fish of almost equal size, equal aggression, temperaments. It was totally different. So you'll be good. All right. Where we at? It's all good, Mike. It's all good, Mike. Where we at? Trav, yo, do I do African cichlids? Actually, I do, man. Damn. Yeah, you've been kind of slipping on some of my videos, bro. I got the 55 gallon I'm looking at right now, full of African cichlids, Lake Malawi African cichlids. I'll make sure I post a YouTube video on those soon. Everybody doing good. I got the regular frontosa, black widow frontosa. I got the Malawi barracuda. I got the eye biter. I got some OBs in there. Yeah, Car, the red tail catfish should be frying pan labeled only. Man, I bet you that shit tastes good. Bet you it probably tastes good, man, minus the bones. All right. And Mark, you got him in a 300? Yeah, you good. You good, bro. You good. You good. I don't know what your footprint is on that 300, but you probably good. I think long term I probably would upgrade him though, because you said you got the 2. I got a giant red tail gourami inside the 800 gallon. He's like 16 inches. And then I got another one that's inside of my 225. I couldn't imagine having 2 16-inch giant red tail gouramis, and, a tank that size. But like I said, no shade. You got a nice size tank. You got a nice selection of fish. It's all good. Kari, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you, man. People should not be able to keep their Pima without having a restricted license. So somebody come into that house, looking at their tank setup, looking at what they got, and say, okay, now you can keep it. Because when you don't do that, man, air Pimas get 10 foot, bro. Air Pimas get 10 foot. Even if you don't allow it to get to that size, it's going to still get over 6 foot. A 6 foot fish. A 6 foot fish, how do you even catch that fish? You get what I'm saying? Blake, man, he had a 4 foot one, moved it from his 3,000 gallon little pool pond, threw it in a 6,000 gallon and it died, right? Or predatory fins, they had these big 6 foot ones, tried to ship them to New York, they died. You get what I'm saying? Like once the fish get that big, you can't be just moving it around, tank swapping as you would a smaller fish. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, just do that research, make sure you know what you're buying, and don't sentence these fish to death sentences, man. It's just crazy that, this goes on still. We shouldn't be having a conversation about the red-tailed catfish, arapaima, bumblebee grouper. Most people don't even know that the bumblebee grouper gets bigger than the Goliath grouper. And the Goliath grouper gets up to 300 pounds. Size of a fucking gorilla. Crazy. All right. You said they are super ugly when they small. The arapaimas, they're not that ugly, man. They look good. I understand why people buy the arapaima, but I'm cool. Clark Hoffman, do I feed what? My fish? What fish? Mike says, I definitely would ban the pacu for sure. My local fish store has a process to get a red-tailed cat, pay up front, come get it. The day it arrives, and you got to verify your tank size too. I respect that I respect that pet store. I agree with you. The red-tailed cats are like top of my list. If y'all just coming into the chat, y'all don't know the three that I named. I said the arapaima, I said the red-tailed catfish, and I said the bumblebee grouper. And I agree with you, Mike, about that pacu. But I do know that you could probably keep a pacu. If you got a pool pond and it's 3,000 gallons, you could keep a couple pacu in there. But a lot of people aren't doing that. Especially, and I'm in Cali. You know what I mean? Like we get cold winters. I can't keep a pond outside year round like as if I was in Florida. The Florida cats could keep all that shit. They keep everything outside. You know what I mean? Straight tropical weather. If I was in Florida, I'd be going crazy too. But when you in these other locations where you get these cold ass winters, you know what I'm saying? Even in the summers, you get cold nights. You're not able to keep these fish outside, so it's a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a lot harder. And Mark, it's all good, man. It's all good, bro. Car, how could you slow a fish down from growing? I think that's the wrong thing to even think about. Why would you want to slow the fish down from growing? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to stunt the fish growth. If you stunt your fish growth, you could also shorten the lifespan of that fish. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever want to intentionally do that. Don't ever look at it like, if I buy this fish, how can I slow it down? I'll tell you how you can stunt a fish growth. Put it in a tank too small. Some of the fish are going to still outgrow the tank, but a lot of the time, the fish going to die. So how long do you want to keep your fish? You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be rude, but how long do you want to keep your fish? Most people don't even understand that these fish live 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Now imagine if you get a fish and the damn thing die in 2 or 3 years. What you do wrong? You get what I'm saying? What did you do wrong? If it's supposed to live 10, 15 years, so it's like, water parameters, diet, tank conditions, you know what I'm saying? Tank size, all of that play a role in your fish thriving, living to the full maximum life expectancy of the fish. You know what I'm saying? So I don't buy my fish saying how am I going to slow down the growth or I'm only going to have it for a couple years. You know what I mean? I expect to keep my fish. If it says it's going to live 10 years, man, okay, let me see. I got to make sure that I got this proper setup for the next 10 years plus. You know what I mean? Chubby Slim grouper sounds like it can swallow a human. Yeah, man, that bumblebee grouper, Chubby Slim, 10 foot. And that Goliath is smaller. You get what I'm saying? So yes, it could definitely swallow a human. Man, I wouldn't swim next to a Goliath grouper or a bumblebee grouper full grown. You know what I'm saying? It's a trip. How social media, they'll hype it up, or people get the likes. They get so consumed by wanting a ton of likes and to go viral and things like that they just buy ridiculous shit, trying to chase these likes. And then in the end, you end up, being a bad fish keeper or man, I think it's just a terrible individual. You know what I'm saying? Where we at? Giant groupers are even larger than Goliaths, over 9 feet and around 900 pounds. One is kept in a massive Ripley's aquarium. What are the giant groupers? Because I thought, from my recollection, the only grouper that's bigger than the Goliath is actually the bumblebee grouper. and they get up to 10 feet. Goliath groupers can swallow a person. They could get to 900 pounds. Yeah, when they get big, I don't know about 900 pounds though. Let's look that up right quick. Let's check that out. So the Goliath grouper. All right. So the Goliath grouper gets 8 foot up to the record weight of it is 680 pounds. And the bumblebee grouper, we gonna pull that one up now. All right, the bumblebee grouper gets up to 9 feet, 400 kilograms. Say 400 kilograms, kg, converted to pounds. It's 881 pounds. So I think we're on the same page. We're on the same page, Scale Scholar. So it's not called the giant grouper. It's called the bumblebee grouper. And that's the cool little fish that everybody wants to buy now. I'll show you what it looks like when it's small. But yeah, they get close to 900 pounds. But look, this is why they get them. I'm going to show you right now. That's why they get them. It's a cool ass looking fish, right? That shit looks hella nice, right? But full grown though, full grown, they lose that yellow. They don't look so nice anymore, right? So yeah, they get close to 900 pounds. You was on point. You was definitely on point. The card said you said something about if you allow to get it that size. I was thinking you have no choice if you wanted to get that big or not. If you don't provide your fish with the proper tank size, you will restrict it from growing to its fullest potential. On top of the fact that in captivity, the fish will never reach the maximum size just because in the wild, they're not allowed in their wild. Like if you're talking about saltwater, they're in like an ocean. If you're talking about freshwater, they're in like a lake. So you'll never have the correct parameters in size for it to grow to its maximum size. So it's going to be reduced somewhat. But intentionally putting a fish into a smaller tank with the purpose of slowing down or preventing it from getting full grown, in my opinion, is just cruel, man. That's just the wrong way of doing it. So, yeah. Colin, especially those YouTubers that make ponds, tanks, and don't even take care of the fish. Yeah. I'm not gonna throw any of them under the bus. I hope that one day they actually start respecting and appreciating the hobby. That's one thing that I do realize that a lot of the, I'm a YouTube consumer too. I used to watch a lot of YouTubers and things like that. I don't watch as many anymore, just because whatever. But one thing that differentiates me from the other people is the fact that I actually care about the fish that I keep, and I spend more time taking care of my tanks than putting out content. And motherfuckers got the money to keep building shit, man. That's what they do. They build and they keep on adding, and they're chasing the likes, they're chasing the revenue and things like that. I do these YouTube videos, as I ain't gonna say it's a hobby because obviously this is work, and I do get paid a little bit, but I have my own business. You know what I'm saying? So my money comes from my business. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not relying upon the views and the likes or whatever to get by. Hell, I mean, shit, what I make monthly, I can't even pay my electric bill with that. Can't even buy the fish food with that. So it's more of a passion for me. You know what I mean? I created my YouTube channel to, interact with other people with like minds, to share my knowledge of what I've learned along the way while keeping these fish, to share my mistakes so other people won't make the same mistakes. That's the reason why I do this. You know what I'm saying? I would love to get to a point to where, I don't have my girl don't have to work anymore. I don't have to work anymore. I would love that. But you know what? That's also like winning the lottery right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't happen for everybody. A lot of us, we play the lottery and we just, one day we hit, one day we don't. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what YouTube is. You know what I'm saying? Some people it hit for them and it changed their life completely. And then some people, they come and go. I'm not going nowhere, but it is what it is right now. Kelly, what's going on with you, girl? I think you're a fish keeper. You should be responsible and only keep the type of fish that you can handle the whole life. Don't buy fish you can't house correctly. Kelly, we are on the same page. 100% I agree with you. 100%. That's what I'm talking about. Vibes, what's happening, man? I hope you're feeling better. Teasy on in captivity. They normally get like 6 foot, I'm sure. Let me see. I got to go back up. What were you talking about? What were you talking about? Shit. Guess maybe you told me. Yeah. Yeah. Less subscribers, better quality. Yeah, I appreciate that. I feel like I put out quality content. I know y'all definitely feel the passion when I'm talking, the passion and the content. It's definitely not about, fucking fluff. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give it to you raw, I'm gonna give it to you real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be straight up with you. That's how the content is. That's how I do it. Man, I appreciate that, Colin. I definitely appreciate that. This is the most underrated channel on YouTube, man. Straight up. Most underrated channel on YouTube. I've been doing this for 5 years, damn near. And I'm over here crawling to that 20,000 mark. But it is what it is, man. If I was on here, doing cat ass shit, if I was on here doing certain kind of content, I'm pretty sure, the channel would have blown up. But I got integrity first, man. I got when the camera go off. When I'm over here with my family, I got to sit there and be comfortable and stand behind what I put out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give y'all myself. I'm not going to sit on here and just make content for views, for likes. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Yeah. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Fish artists win this game and are 11-year fish. I started from a 10-gallon, moved up and spent my employment money. Yeah. 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 Man, that paycheck always funding the hobby. The paycheck be funding the hobby. Joseph, what's going on? Mike says the only reason I say Pacu is because tons of people donate them to our Pittsburgh Zoo and they are overrun with them. When soon as you said Pacu, I understood immediately why you said Pacu. If I would have extended that list from 3 to maybe 5, Pacu would have been on that list. Pacu would have been on that list. Everybody buy Pacu because they want piranha. Meanwhile, piranha is a lot smaller than Pacu. Because you got piranha. Piranha is a lot smaller than Pacu. You could get a 200-gallon and throw some Pacu and throw some piranha in there, and it'll be cool. You can't do that with Pacu. You can't throw a nice school of Pacu in a 200-gallon and think you're gonna be solid. You can't. It's just not gonna work. You need like a 2,000-gallon. But they buy them because and then also Pacu turn into like herbivores. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even be eating meat like piranha. Yeah. Let me see. Kelly said, my brother, though. My bad. My bad, bro. The name threw me off. Kelly Bunch, the name threw me off. Joseph, I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you so much. Too many fakes on YouTube. Car says too many fakes on YouTube. You have to know yourself. 100%. 100%. But yeah, like I said, I'm not throwing no shade on no YouTubers. More power to them. I feel like everybody that they are where they are work for it. So you deserve what you get. It just works faster for others. Hell, like I said, I've never hit the lotto, but I play sometimes. I don't get mad at the people that did win. I'd be happy they won. They pay dues that I'm just not willing to pay. It'll be my time for sure. Because like I said, I'm not going nowhere. Teasy fish are addicted to buy. You buy one tank and a fish and then end up getting more fish. Then you end up getting a bigger tank and it just does not stop. MTS, multiple tank syndrome. I'm I'm definitely dealing with MTS. You know what I'm saying? That's all right though. I think that when you're having aquariums, you're going to need a quarantine tank, right? For your sick fish. You also might need another tank, for the fish you just get in. Also, that's kind of like quarantine, but you might not want to put the fish that you just got in the same tank that you would put, a sick fish in. And then also sometimes you need a tank. If you got bullies, you got to separate them. So you're going to need at least 4 tanks. If you're in the fish hobby, you need at least a good 4. Have a big one, smaller one, medium-sized one, and a quarantine. Yep, Carl, that's right. Multiple tank syndrome is definitely real. Tizzy, is my Giardini aggressive? It was. I had a lot of different problems when I first got the Giardini and I got my silver albino. I could not keep them together. I threw the Giardini in the 225. Then I bought the albino silver. The Giardini beat up the albino silver. I took the Giardini out, threw the Giardini in a 60-gallon. Tried to put them back together later on. The albino silver beat up the Giardini. I had to put the Giardini back in a 60-gallon. Then I threw the Giardini inside the 180. It grew and got bigger. Now they're together inside of the 225. So that's why I say sometimes you got to just like move fish around. You move them around, you wait some time, and then in the end, sometimes they end up being able to live together. That's the way that it worked with my 800-gallon pond. I had everybody separated at one point. Well, not everybody separated, but whenever one fish would get beat up or one get too aggressive, move them out. Wait a little bit of time, put them back together, try it again. Sometimes you got to move them out again. You know what I mean? But in the end, I don't know what happens, whether it be the size, they catch up on the size, catch up on the aggression, or whatever the case may be, but it ends up working. Easy. Are you going to put him in your pond? Eventually, I'm going to put the silver albino and the Giardini in the pond, but only when that thing gets bigger. Right now, I think it's cool. The only fish that's rushing me to put in there is probably my albino silver. The albino silver is at least 18 inches or bigger right now. I don't know. I can't. I probably should try to measure them, but that's the only one that's like on my heels. Like, man, what you gonna do with me? What you gonna do with me? So if push come to shove, he's going inside the pond. I tried that before. When he was small, he might have been like, 12 inches, 10 inches or something like that. And he looked like a snack for Kobe. So he's at the point right now where he don't look like a snack, but I don't want any issues to where, he jumps. Well, he can't really jump out, but I don't want him to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to put him in a situation where he get beat up, get stressed out, and he die. That's one of the main arowanas that I really wanted to keep. Albino silver. Joseph, what always angers me is when people try to beg a pet store employee to give them a koi or pleco to put in their 10-gallon. Man, I hate when people go and buy these fucking bettas, man. They go buy these bettas, dude, and it's crazy. Like, they'll put the betta in something like this, a jar. Just put the betta in a jar, throw them right there on the table. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that. I've been telling people for a while now that these betta fish, they need filtration. They need filtration. They need a real aquarium. They need, they need 5. I would say 5 gallons or bigger. I don't understand why people go buy these little ass bettas and they put them inside of another jar. You see them already living fucked up. You already see them inside this little ass cup and they doing bad. So why put them into another cup on your table, on your counter? Give them a tank. Give them a filter. They need it. Matter of fact, they need a heater too. So, that shit bothers me as well. Yeah, because after a couple of months, the harding does not grow that fast. What are we talking about, TZ? What are we talking about, TZ? He says, YH, because after a couple of months, the harding does not grow that fast. I must be misreading that. So Kobe won't try to kill him. Car asks about Kobe. So right now, yeah, because Kobe is hella big. Kobe's like 30 inches. So right now it will be a problem. But moving forward, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until, he catches up with size, until I feel like I have to take him out. And then I'll try putting him in there. And then I'll watch, make sure it's no aggression, and go from there. Yeah. Kelly Bunch. So I'm about to set up a 1,000 gallon pool pond. Any suggestions or tips on when you first set it up? I'm going to do a DIY filter with the brewed trash cans. What size cans should I use? That's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So yeah, man, that's gonna be a nice size. That's gonna be a nice size pool pond. Um, Tons of plants. Make sure you got tons of plants. If you want to have things like arowanas, that's why I built that facade around my pond, right? Because I knew I wanted an arowana. So the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that he couldn't just jump out. And then since you put a wall, he can still jump out and fall down the side. So that's why I put the shelves around, right? And then I didn't want to just have the shelves just empty. So that's why I put plants on those shelves. So I would recommend plants is going to help you a tremendous amount because it's going to remove the nitrates and phosphates from the water. As far as the trash can sump, I got one 44-gallon trash can brewed on that pond. I got one 800-watt heater on that pond. That pond stays warm. And then also the trash can does a really good job with filtering that pond along with the plants. So that would be my recommendation. 44-gallon trash can, add as many plants as you could possibly add in there. And set it up like set it up like a tank. Set up like a tank, bro. I put these real thick foam mats under the sand, under the rock work. Put those mats down there. Put you the sand or whatever on that. Put the rock work on that. That way it won't get any holes in it. And try not to put any fish in there that could possibly puncture the pond. No plecos. You don't want to have any catfish in there with any kind of spines. Make sure that you don't put anything in there that could possibly, puncture that pond. All right, all right. Ortega Alfredo Nicholas. I have a question. If a saltwater tank crashes, can I restart with the same live rock? Um, I would. I would. If your tank crash, you could potentially assume that you're not putting since you're not putting healthy live rock in there, it might not help as much as you would want it to if it was like not crashing. But I think you can still start it back up with the live rock though. You don't have to rinse that rock off or get more live rock or anything like that. Just put that shit in there. It's gonna have some beneficial bacteria on it. But yeah, I hope that answers that question. Where we at? Even goldfish in bowls, like they're not small. My grandma had a goldfish that lived for 7 years, and it was 8 inches. Man, I agree with you. I had somebody. I eat his cousin. She's crazy. She went and bought like a few goldfish and threw the goldfish inside of a 10-gallon tank with no filter, and she's kind of bragging about it. Kind of bragging about it. I think that's just crazy, but to each their own. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad about what they do and how they keep stuff, but you know, educate yourself as much as possible when you decide to keep something, just so you can do it properly. You know what I'm saying? That's so nobody else is talking shit, because somebody else might just be one of the people that's just gonna let you have it. But hey, what's going on? Thank you. I appreciate that. That is, hey, Tizzy, that is my wife. Yeah, that's Aida right there. She's in the other room. Car, can plants strip your water of nutrients? You want the plants to take those nutrients. You want the plants to take the nutrients. That's the benefit. You know what I mean? Excess nutrients is going to give you algae. You get what I'm saying? When you have algae in your aquarium and things like that, that's because you're feeding it light and nutrients. You know what I'm saying? So when you have plants, a ton of plants, it's going to outcompete the algae of those nutrients. So you want the plants to take those nutrients. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? The nutrients is what creates the nitrates, the nitrites to the nitrates, water change, right? That's the nitrogen cycle, right? Ammonia gets converted to nitrates, and then you do a water change to pull out those nitrates. The plants is going to consume those nitrates. You know what I'm saying? So you want to add plants as much as possible. As much as possible. It's all good, Kelly Bunch. For sure, we are good. If you ever have any more questions, just let me know. Yeah, babe. You know the TFC fam is solid for sure. But yeah, this was a quick one. It's getting late. Just wanted to get in here, chat with y'all. You know, I really appreciate everybody for contributing to the conversation. And hopefully nobody got offended. If you did, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said over and over again, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but I just wanted to raise awareness on some of these things that, you know, we all make mistakes. We all do this. So that being said, Sunday, I'm going to be back on this thing tomorrow. An hour and 15 minutes is a lot easier than 2 hours and 20 minutes. I could definitely do this damn near every day. So we're going to get back to it tomorrow. I hope to see you there. I appreciate you all. Have a great night. Peace.